Alright, welcome back to Kamen Review, episode 192. This one we are discussing not episodes from a show. Oh no, we're talking about a special in a movie from Kamen Rider Agito. I was planning to talk about these, I was planning to watch reviewing these while I was watching the show, but at times, basically, when I get to them, I got to these things and it got really late, but I just want to put the series behind me. Now I got the series behind me. Now to focus on these two things here. There is, however, another special, but it didn't really mount to the plot at all, so I just basically skipped it. So first up we have is New Transmission. This is an actual special that is about 45 minutes. It's more like a prologue into the actual movie Kamen Agito had, known as Project G4. This one basically is quite interesting. So, we start out in this office, where we have a guy smoking in an area where you're not supposed to really smoke, and he gets killed in the report, and then all of a sudden, he leaves, the guy smokes, and then he's like, where's this ash coming? Oh crap, it's coming from him because he's been turned to ash, thanks to a new unknown who basically just sold little toothpicks to people, and they become ash immediately. Yes, this one basically, I would definitely say does advance a plot, because it debuts basically, well, there's actually two brand new things that debut in this, but I kind of forgot what, there's one of these things do pop up in the show in one episode. I kind of forgot. I thought this was basically the old G3 suit. No, this actually is a complete different suit. Plus a new form for our Kamen Agito. So, throughout this, basically, very few are getting killed off. Agito just shows up. And we also have it where we have this original character who only appears in this special. A psychiatrist who nursed Surichi back to health. Who has got long hair. And an occasion basically for sometimes basically face-wise it kind of looks like a woman despite the fact it's actually not. Yeah. So this was his apparently this is the guy who kind of nursed him back to health and taught him various things. There's also a thing about pepper salad. Yes, a salad made of peppers. And despite the uncle's like, I don't like peppers, but these peppers are really good. Yeah, the beginning of this movie takes place just after the new the movie anyway, takes place after the special. So his name is Azuma Kinna. When I first saw a picture, is this a woman? No, it's clearly a guy. Yeah, it's a guy who's very laid back. You first see the movie giving an old lady a lift. Who does pop up later on in the movie. He's played by Masaki Kanemoto, who's actually on Kamen Rider Black as for Yosuke Take. Yeah, this is the guy who popped up a couple times on that show. Interesting, basically they brought the actor back for this. Yeah, this was the first time he appeared in Kamen Rider since this show. He's also appeared on Ultraman. Yeah. And I kind of wish in the case of Black he would appear more than 2 episodes, because I like his character on the show. Here, his character is still very likable. Yes, so he's wearing this nice suit. He has a motorcycle like Sneechy. I don't think he was really talking about the right motorcycle per se, but he basically did nurse back at the he's a psychiatrist. And he's also the one who recommended Surichi to live with this professor, with his supposedly his niece and his son. Okay, interesting. He just wanted to see him again, and here you go. And throughout this, the unknown, who's basically a beetle, and at one point he goes out of control, when he shows off his fire form, he nearly attacks his psychiatrist, which of course he's able to yell at him and he was to calm down. And of course he almost tries to run away, and of course he nearly wastes his own gas, and then he proceeds to punch him. Yes, he punches him, and gets to a fist fight with him over this. He's able to calm down, and well, they kind of and then he goes off, and the caretaker himself is later sitting in the same old lady at lift. And, well, they do the fact feat to be the Lord. And, of course, the end of the movie does debut something really interesting. Of course, they have this new, maybe a new updated suit, because basically the unknowns become more powerful. And we see this suit on the screen, and we see this woman walk into the place, and then she just looks at it, touches it. And it turns out this is actually a complete unknown actress who plays her for this faceless cameo. So, because then the ending of this leads into Project G4, where we have it where basically the beginning of the movie is set right after that special. So the special itself, the beginning of this movie is set just is because the special stuff came between episodes 35 and 36. Oh, by the way, the new forms I forgot to mention here. So there was the debut of basically G3 Mild, which went to the comedy character. He wore it briefly in the movie, in the special, which he was very useful. And here's the thing, after the special, he would wear it one more time in the show, and then never wear it ever again. Why in the world they never sent it out again is a complete mystery. Like, between that, it just made any sense. Also, this special is noteworthy for the debut of the Shining Agito. Yep, that's where it made its debut prior to its in-series debut. Though also, there's a weird thing in this special where Haru basically overhears the conversation between Azuma and Shinichi. That Shinichi is in fact Agito. And he kind of briefly takes him custody, and then of course he arranges, and of course thanks to Gil showing up, he's able to get away. Yes. It felt completely random, and then by the time it finds on the show, it just, this aspect of the special is completely ignored. But a lot of the air stuff I felt would be really interesting. So, as special itself, basically we have sort of this new recruit who joins basically G3. And of course they have it where they battle basically. And also the movie begins on a very interesting note where we have this girl who's basically, we have basically the Japanese Defense Force experimenting with telekinesis. And then all of a sudden the Ant Lords show up. Yep, these army of grunts, which are literally the grunts for the lords, the monsters. And of course there's a queen later on in the movie. And these things proceed to decimate the space, and pretty much everybody is killed except for one soldier and two psychic kids. And then, of course, G3X shows up, battles a couple of the ants, and then, of course, meet the G3 person, and her name is and days for G4. So the girl who basically temporarily joined G3 is Risa Fukima, and she's played by actress Muju Azuba, who only appears in this movie. Yeah, by the way, currently she's 48, so I'm guessing because this movie came out in 2001, she must have been 24 when she first took the role. Yep, 24. And this is her sole appearance ever in Kamen Rider. Yeah, and then of course she had barbecue with the G3 members, gets basically Omuro drunk, and gets the password and gets the G3 stuff and quits. Gets G4 and quits the team. And then of course later on, while G3X and Agito are basically battling ants, G4 shows up. and basically blows up a lot of them. Not all of them, a lot of them. Where we debut our, oh, by the way, the soldier here, his name is Shiro Mizuki. Yes, he is basically our G4. He's played by Ryu Katsu. And this will be his sole appearance. He is retired as an actor, but this will be his only appearance. Now, recently I was listening to a video. So, yeah, so apparently, Gil's actor, apparently he's been blacklisted. So basically, he's no longer an actor because there was allegations in 2018 of domestic violence, adultery, and theft. Now, 2 of these things I can probably expect to go away for, but adultery, I don't think that's a crime. Not really, no. And apparently he was once married to Time Pink's actress. Yeah, and they had a daughter together, which she has custody of the daughter. And she's currently 45 right now. Yeah. I didn't know about this until someone brought it up in a video I was watching. So, and it turns out the G4 system is dangerous. And then they brought in the facility. Now, Agito does not go with them. Basically, just the G4 people. Where Amora basically is like chastising. At one point, she attempts to slap her for using it for her personal gain and basically nearly killing. And of course, she just stops her. And then, of course, she proceeds to leave. And then, of course, like, oh, basically, think the G4 is powerful. We don't need G4. We don't need G3. And, of course, use of the military. And also, there's a subplot where the 2 kids who escape, one ends up with Nichi. That's the girl. The young boy ends up with Ryu, which, of course, they end up staying at a bowling alley. Well, a abandoned bowling alley. Which at one point, like, he gives him food, but he rejects it due to the fact he bought it with stolen money. And then he got some money and got a little snack anyways. So his ability is, the little boy, is that he can use telekinesis to basically move stuff. The girl can basically make predictions, per se. That's basically her thing. She can predict the future, which is very useful, and her predictions are very accurate. At one point, she actually predicted the Ant Lord attacking the base. Does a way to run, and basically her predictions are more like about 30 seconds future, at about a minute or 2 in the future, and so takes off a bracelet, and then Mana keeps it. Of course, then she proceeds to leave, and then Mana is taken by the military because of her power. And when they test her, she's much more powerful than the young girl appears in the movie. Oh, and the new characters, yep, Kahara. And she herself only appears in this movie, and yeah, this will be her sole appearance ever in Kamen Rider as a Murioki. His actor, well, in the case of Kamen Rider, this will be his sole time ever doing anything with Kamen Rider. But it seems like he's retired. Yes. The actor who plays this kid, yeah, he's since retired. Probably because he wanted to do something else. So, and then the antler attack once again the base. And by the way, the main portion of the story takes place between episodes 47, 46, 47. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. But you gotta go, you gotta go. So, basically, like I said, the antler attacked the military base once again. And basically, Gills is brought in. And I love this really cool moment where basically he has to get out the motorcycle Wrath. And this is the first time I've ever seen this happen for Kamen Rider. Oh, before the base happens again, Okra basically is from downward. And then she and Shinichi and Hikawa run into the Superintendent General, where he's played by, and as soon as I saw him, like, oh my god, it's Kamen Rider 1! Yes, the original Kamen Rider, which apparently there's a fan theory, this actually is the original Kamen Rider as the police commissioner. As Superintendent, like, what? Yeah. Yeah, he's played with the same actor. I was surprised to see him. Also, fun fact, this is the first time this actor has played this character, has played in a Kamen Rider movie since 5 Riders Against King Dark. Because, of course, anytime else in this period, it's basically been like other characters. Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see him. Like, this is a cameo I was not expecting at all in this movie. Yeah. Even though he only appears in this one movie, I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he gives encouragement to Shinichi. Patty looks at him and he doesn't basically agrees with. And this is kind of interesting, though. You have the original Kamen Rider interacting with the current one at this point. This, of course, being Shinichi. And Makoto gives him basically a nod, which, of course, basically the student approves of, because basically he's an official that Agawa basically respects because he's their mentor. Really cool cameo. Anybody who's a long-time Kamen Rider fan, see this movie. It's amazing. And meanwhile, back to the actual thing. So, they attack the base once again, so you have the 3 riders, actually the 4 riders, including G4, trying to fight these forces. Before this, where Agito and G4 fight G3 fight G4, and Shinichi gets away, helped by the kids. And then, of course, basically, that they have rematch, and, well, they have the ants basically do the thing again, where they're just attacking. There's like a whole army of these damn things. Yep, and The queen herself, basically, Shinichi does battle her using Shiny Agito, which beats her. And Ryu basically battles a lot of them. At one point, he gets his arm chopped off. The thanks him going to exceed Gil's form, he's able to grow his arm back. And he's able to destroy a lot of them. And it then just leaves just G3 and G4. Which, of course, during the course of the fight, G4 knocks off the shoulder pad from G3X. And then damages the helmet too. So Makoto takes the helmet and proceeds to punch it for a while. And then shoot the man because the whole thing about death, whatever. And then with that, G4 is deemed inactive. And everyone goes, I'm happy. Overall, fantastic movie. I do recommend checking out people who are fans of Kamen Rider because of how really good this movie is. And, well, and that's pretty much it when it comes to Kamen Rider Agito. Yeah, their special they had, the 3 great writers. Because that is technically like the only real thing. But it... Yeah. So, in the case of, if any of us guys want to watch the Kamen Rider the 3 great writers Super video, I'm not really interested in watching this thing, so as of this, I'm officially done with Kamen Rider Agito. Everything is done. Apparently there was Agito manga. Yes, so I have read Agito's appearance in the Kuga manga that I have. Basically, I was left to basically read. There's some reading material for this thing. I might plan to review it. I don't know because a lot of this stuff is not released here per se. But the next Kamen Rider video will be Kamen Rider X. That's the next video I'm going to do. I'm going to go through the first 4 episodes of that, and then go through a couple of the anime that have been released today. One released yesterday, one released today. As the other ones, that's up in the air if they're going to come out or not. Okay. So that's pretty much that particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. See you in the next video. Bye.